pleasure to address you and to be in this, what I consider to be a very excellent facilitation by the Olodoos, and it's always a pleasure to be working with them. And thank you for your presentation on the different categorizations of power. Firstly, to introduce myself as the Head of Strategic Partnerships, one of the number of hats that I wear for the JVCPTF, which is the Jamaican Actual Prevention Intervention of Crime Task Force, and I extend further apologies on behalf of His Excellency, Mr. Ramakan, as both him and his good lady self were unable to be here, as Olodoo has stated, being called away. However, I hope you will be able to have me as a rather not so, how can we say, prestigious offer in regards to communication today. Nevertheless, moving on swiftly with the title that I had been ingratiated with today, which is always an opportunity to enrich oneself and to share in that enrichment, which is the topic which is I was given, which was the nuggets for effective youth community engagement strategy. So such a particular topic, I believe the personification of the term nuggets would allude to mining, and in mining, this is a lot different here, yeah. In mining, we know that we're dealing with particular minerals and resources that are underground, and I thought that it's highly appropriate that the term nuggets be utilised, because of course in order to obtain nuggets we need to know where those nuggets are. And however exploratively confident we may feel that we know where those nuggets are, we know that we're on a journey. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to basically engage with a very short journey in mining for those nuggets, because I don't believe those nuggets are just within me. I believe those nuggets are also within you. In 2011, I was fortunate to be selected to become basically a management consultant, accredited by the biggest management consulting accreditation body in the world, in 47 countries, 6,500 people. And certainly when my name was called up, I felt rather privileged, and at the same time felt in awe of the call to become a management consultant in this regard. And it wasn't too soon after that I sort of graduated an MBA as well. And I had got one of my MBAs here, which is within the University of East London. And all I can say is in terms of the topic of effective youth community engagement as a pastor, which is an additional hat that I wear, I found that when you're dealing with the term youth, you are dealing with a young man and young women, and by term I mean man, I mean also women, and we are dealing with people who represent our posterity. They represent our energy. They are our children. And I believe Nelson Mandela said when he had been engaged in the Stephen Lawrence case, he said that Stephen Lawrence wasn't just the Lawrence's children, but he was also our children. And certainly we all feel when it comes to topics based upon children, we all have that sense of maternal drawing. I have children, and certainly those of you who have or have nephews, nieces, and just children, you know that the term children endears feelings of youthfulness that we've all had. And I think that it's highly important that we always remember where we're coming from in that regard, and that there are always people that are coming up, and that we are a part of a reciprocity and a self-renewing process, which I believe is one of the apexes of social corporate responsibility or corporate social responsibility in that regard. And staying on topic and on point in regards to the time, the specificity of nuggets for effective youth and community engagement, it is key because, of course, when we're looking at the term community, are we dealing with an online community? Is the scope of that community local, or is it global? Either way, it's a group of categorized individuals that come together because they share a specific cause, something that might not be to both you and me highly interesting, but it is to a particular community. But what we're looking at, the youth of that community, we're talking about the vibrancy. We're talking about the injection that brings a reflection in those people or a people that are making a renewed difference within a particular sector or a particular industry or a particular era, whatever you may have it. And I believe that the expanse of this particular type of topic with regards to engagement, it takes energy to draw energy. And if we've come to a particular aspect of the DNA for whatever project that it is that we want to be released upon, then what we need to understand, to be able to receive, you've got to be able to give. And I won't touch too much on hearts and minds mentorship. And certainly I remember when I was here and I had the actual lecturer that was delivering on the hearts and mind leadership. And he certainly let me know, with no release, and it wasn't just me, that he didn't like this particular type of leadership. It was too related to the Bible or whatever it was. But anyway, I'm going to teach you as quickly as possible. And it was hearts and minds leadership. Okay? Now, the interesting thing is, I don't know about you, but last time I checked, I think I have a heart. The other thing I've also checked, I think I have a mind. But when you bring those two very inspiring and intriguing actual variables together, we can all relate to having a heart and having a mind. But now we're dealing with the most challenging subject, which is facing all of the global countries of, let's say, the main 266 countries around the world, which is the deficit or the challenge of leadership. Leadership is a reflection upon the present leadership and what they're producing, because you cannot reproduce what you do not have. I can only reproduce what I am. And so as I face my children every morning, and I heard, I believe, a certain Prime Minister said they felt with the PMQs that it was the most daunting aspect of a Prime Ministership. But me personally, I felt facing my children for a devotion in the morning with the PMQs of all of what's going on in the world, the most daunting subject as a dad and as a granddad and as a step-granddad. And these different hats that we wear. Amen? And so we find ourselves being many things to many different people. Or maybe it's going to require a transparency that makes us just want to feel that we need to hide because of the inadequacy. If you're feeling inadequate in whatever leadership role that you're playing, then it means that you care. And if you care, then you're going to make a difference. And if you're going to make a difference, they're going to feel you. And if they're going to feel you, they are going to be inspired by you. And it was back in the, I believe it was 1990. And one could say it would have been my first ever role of leadership when I started my first business. And this was when it required me to basically go to my first bank manager at the NatWest Bank. And I had 2 presentations, but it was the second presentation that I was fortunate to be able to get the money that I needed, together with the Prince's Youth Business Trust, and I had to present there also as well. And of course, I suppose I could have been considered to be a youth. However, it was interesting because, of course, the particular sector I operated in and the particular service delivery that I delivered, I was supposed to be technically, basically, the #1 in my industry. And when I was basically in 1990, I was one of the best at what I did, and I was now beginning to deliver this technical delivery within the structure of a business that had to be able to deliver continuous, sustainable delivery of customership. Now, of course, I hadn't been into a business school, and that's very important to know. But obviously, when you feel that you're technically running something under managementship, but suddenly thrust into leadership, where you're running the accounts, you're running the human resources, you're running the vision of the enterprise, and you're ambitious, but you're overwhelmed. All I can tell you is, as I pay attention to the time and the topic, is that community engagement strategy or strategic operation and belief is highly, highly, highly important. I didn't know that when I set up in Tottenham, which has the reputation that it did in North London, that I was really going to engage the community in ways in which it would change my vision that literally would never have me seeing the same again. And it would be within that particular time at the age of 19 or 20 and just starting to open up my enterprise and taking on and training the people, because I had to train them in the way that I operate, because the training wasn't there. I was the leader of this industry, and I was training them by example. Being that sort of being dragged from Sunday school at the age of 3, I could bring some parallels into walking your talk and talking your walk. And to an extent it worked, until one day somebody stepped into the place, only months opening, and what they did was they threatened one of my staff. And so I kind of asked them, could you please leave? Maybe some other language, but nevertheless they did go. And then when they went, they turned around, and what they threw into my eyes was basically acid, but I survived. And I'm looking at you now. And that was community engagement. Caustic though it may come across, and though I released my book, which is Amen to Business, what it is that, how can I explain? When you are engaging with a community, it isn't just you, but you're now managing through others. And you're managing to an extent and a variable. I may have values, and I may have my views, but I'm engaging with people that may not believe that they have certain opportunities. And I may be giving them opportunities, but there are others that don't have those opportunities, and there could be a level of envy that's rising up and manifests in certain ways. And I'm saying to you, if it's to be, then it's up to me. Let's look and let's analyse. One of the short space of time that is left, and all due respect, but I really want you to understand that the fire is within you, that you may have gone into institutions that are reasonably structured, but I want to get across to you, if there's any little thing that I can get across to you, is that you can do whatever it is that you have to do, because it's true. The first institution that existed, was started by people like yourselves, had a smaller, percolated amount of dream, but it got fed, and it was placed in the correct environment, and it reacted to the photosynthesis of encouragement. And of course, the effervescence of such a pleasant of a drive created what we all like to want to see. And it can, and it is, I do believe, it is each and every one of you. Smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But these are frameworks to focus you. And in every given situation, the leader needs to have an answer that strategically encompasses all of the variables that you can and can't see. Because it does come down to you, and you are responsible. And I would build the organisation to 13 staff and 4 actual organisations, and they would be ridden. But alluding to the time, yes? Alluding to the time, the key thing that I want you to get across is passion. You can feel passion. Believe in what you do. It just cannot be the numbers. But today I leave you on that point. And I think the most important point that I leave you upon is with the point of wanting for more. Thank you for being a fantastic guy.